All right, we are actually going to start with those weights in our hands for just a moment. Let's bring those feet into parallel, abs in, tailbone long, shoulder rolls. Just let the weights kind of pull you back and down. At an inhale and an exhale through your nose or your mouth. And then we'll just start a slow step touch and we'll add a little elbow lift. So kind of an upright row. So you should feel this as you roll up, back, and down at the tops of your shoulders. Good, and then we're actually going to reverse it and come up and around and forward. And that should feel a little bit awkward, but it should also bring it into a little bit more behind the shoulders. All right, and then we're just going to hold the weights here and pick up that pace. Arms down to the side, tiny little bicep curl, because this is a quicker move, so small range of motion. Then we're going to angle over, and we're going to bring our arms into 90 degrees. And then we're going to go up and down, but not full range. Again, since we're going a little bit faster, slightly smaller. Or depending on your pace, if you're going a little slower, I appear to be, you can go more full range. Good, 2 more. Now I want you to leave your hands by your sides and give me a hamstring curl. And then I want you to lift your elbows a little bit, try and do it without rolling those shoulders forward. And then we'll add that tricep extension. Sorry. Keep going, guys. That's silly. So you've got that hamstring curl and that tricep extension. Good, 2 more like that. Then we're going to go back to that bicep curl. 2 more. Then you're going to extend your arms and hamstring curl. 2 more. Back to your bicep. For curls with extensions. 2 biceps. What? 2 extensions. I promise we're not going over that. 2 and 2. 2 and 2. And we're doing 4 again, 4 biceps. Or extensions. We're coming back through center. We're angling the other way. Back to that bicep. Step forward and bicep curl. Two more here. And then hands at your sides. Let's go to that hamstring curl. Elbows a little bit up without rolling your shoulders forward. Tricep extension. All right, we're going back to those biceps. Curl. And then we extend in hamstring. And now we go back to biceps for 4. 4 curls of your leg with your hamstring or tricep extension. 2 of each. 2 biceps, 2 triceps. 2 biceps, 2 triceps. And back to 4s. 4 biceps. 4 triceps. Four again. And 4 triceps. And back to center. Roll those shoulders. Bring those hands together. Bring your arms up. And then bring them out so that your hands are right above the elbows, which are right in front of the shoulders. It's a little bit of a, again, not a super speedy motion today as we go across to that leg. Single knee. Two more. Relax that down. Hands back up. Other knee. Other rotation. Other rotation. Other side. Two more. Woo, roll that down, or bring those down, roll those shoulders out. Let's let go of those weights for a moment. Continue that step touch. But maybe do some bigger arms, single arms. Beautiful, nice wide stance. We're gonna bring it down. We're gonna roll through our cat and cow a couple times. All right, drop that left shoulder or right shoulder and look up over your left. Come on back through center, other way. And again, back through center, we're gonna roll. We're gonna extend, we're gonna drop in. Back through center, other way. Back through center, we're gonna roll. We're gonna extend, we're gonna drop in. Back through center, roll, extend, other way. And now we put that together. We're gonna roll and drop in as we extend. We're gonna roll up through center and drop and extend the other way. One more time, roll it, extend and drop. Roll it, extend and drop. Woo, big deep breath in. All right, hopefully upper body's already well warmed up, lower body ready to move. All right, so we're gonna take one weight and we're gonna put it behind our right leg. And we're standing nice and tall, abs in, tailbone long. Bend that left knee, and as always, make sure that that left knee isn't behind the right one, right? And then nice and easy, you're just starting that lateral lift. Now hopefully you have your other weight handy. If so, match that lift with the arm. So once again, working those shoulders. Just two more. Good. Leave that leg and that arm up there and give me a little pulse hamstring curl. Just hold this arm. And then relax everything for just a second. Beautiful. We're coming right back up, hand on your hip for now. Lift that leg up. I want you to push it back. It might not be a very big range of motion. Just push it back. Feel that here. At the same time, see if you can lift your arm forward. Leg goes back, arm goes forward. Pushing back with that heel, forward with that arm. And take a quick break. Matter of fact, you can let that weight out for just a second. We're not quite done with that leg. All right, so then dumbbell right back behind that leg. Left knee is bent. All right, we're gonna go out to the side. We're gonna go back. We're gonna come back to center, lift it up and back, up and back, up and back. So we put those last two moves together. Just one more. Boy. All right. We get to stretch that right leg out a little bit. So leg across the left thigh. Extend that tailbone long. Woo. Push that tailbone back. And then round it up. And then extend it again. And then right leg crosses left and we go up and over. Hip to the right. All right, we get to do all of that on the other side now. So weight behind your left leg and bring it in nice and close. Bend that right knee. Abs in, tailbone long. We just start with that lateral lift. Arm matches it, so we're working that left deltoid now. Two more. All right, break. And then we bring it right back up again. We're gonna push straight back. Push straight back. With that leg on the angle, by the way, arm forward. Take a quick break. That's all. This is where we put those together. All right, so we've got a good hold on that weight. We're gonna go lateral, back as we go forward, up and back, up and out. And relax. All right, left leg crosses right, tailbone long, round it under, and then extend it down again. Left leg over right, up and over to your right, hip to your left. Woo. Shake that out loud. All right, now we're coming down into our wide plie position. So legs very wide, toes in turnout, abs in, tailbone long, and then slide down that imaginary wall and then readjust as needed. Look down. You want to still be able to see your big toes, so your knees didn't collapse in. So do what you need to do to get that happening. And then just a small range right here. You can hold the weights just here. For a little more challenge, they could be straight out here. If you wanted to, you could raise your heels to come up. Abs in, spine long. Just a few more here. And relax. Your shoulders, your glutes should have all felt that. Back of the neck nice and long. And now we're going back to weight behind your right leg. Hand in your right hand. This time, I'm going to pitch forward, use your chair for balance. And then arm nice and straight below you to start with. And then pull the shoulder up. Pull the shoulder up, a couple like that. And then I just want you to press the heel to the sky as you do that. So just working those posture muscles, those rowing motions, muscles that help remind us to pull those shoulders back. And now I want you to add on, as you lift up, I want you to pull the arm up and lift it back. So pull it up and lift it back. And relax. You should have felt that in both legs. So we'll do a quick stretch left over right at the ankles. Hinge to your right, hips to the left. Back through center, right over left, hips go right, arms go left. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. So that weight comes behind your left leg and your left hand. Use your chair for balance, try and get parallel with the ground. We'll start by just pressing the heel to the sky, and at the same time, just squeeze that shoulder back. So again, working those muscles that lay across the shoulder blade. And then we'll lift up and squeeze back. And lift and squeeze. So just think about getting that shoulder as far away from your ear as possible. And bring that up. And then again, we'll go right over left to start with. Up and over. And then left over right. And hip goes left, we go right. Okay. All right. Now we're coming back to the center again. Wide stance. Find that plie again. This time we're going to hold down here, right? So I want you to find your most challenging position where maybe you start to get a little shake in those quads. As always, with the heels lifted, you'll get a little more. And then we're going to serve that platter, arms all the way straight at the end. If what's shaking are just your feet, you can always put your heels down. Two more like this. Arms straight. Get them stick straight. Don't let me see a droop here, right? And then get them straighter and straighter. Palms up, straight, straight. Bicep finishing off here. Sit a little deeper if you can. Pull your abs in. Make sure you're not tipped far forward. And bring it up. Whew. Shoulders back and down. Not quite done. Right back down. Good news, you get to pitch forward this time, which is going to shift that weight a little more into your glutes. You might feel that a little differently now. You can rest your elbows for a second until you find those abdominal muscles to pull in to support your back. Leave your right hand where it is, left arm up and out to the side. Good. Then that same arm comes into this position and we rotate open. Good, and now it's a Y or a half of a Y. Head in line, And then lastly, that arm comes up overhead, up by your ear. 2 more. Hand on that thigh, bring it up. You may have felt that in the opposite glute, right? Because it was stabilizing. We're back down. Left elbow rests this time. Right arm up and off to the side. Knees stay wide. Then we bring that arm into that L position and we rotate. And then it's a half of a Y or a half of a V. And then that arm goes up by your ear. Beautiful. Oh, shake that out. Last time, back into that plie. But again, this time we're straight up for now. Walk those feet a little wider. And then you're going to hinge, but not as much this time. Just enough that you can get your palms facing the sky for tricep extension. And I want these instead straight behind you. I want them off to the side a little bit. So we start to work that medial tricep, the one that runs down the outside of the arm. Little weight in your heels. And relax. All right. Bring those weights down onto the ground, please. We are going to head down. All righty. So come on down. Weights are with you. And we'll start with just some sideline work to work the outsides of those hips one more time. Honestly, we've worked them quite a bit, but it's just going to top them off. Yippee. Okay, so as you lie down, waistline as always is lifted. Knees are stacked. Both weights, if you're okay with it, go on that top leg. And then your hand, palm down, is just going to rest on top of the weights just to keep them in place. So I'm not really holding the weights. I'm just pressing them against my leg. That leg is going to lift in a nice straight line. So knee and heel come up at the same time. Good. Then we're going to bring those heels together, little Pilates V, and we'll pivot open. Waistline stays up. Then our knees stay down. We're going to lift those heels and we'll pivot up. And then take a moment, take that top leg and put the foot on the ground so that now your bottom leg is open and you're going to straighten it out. And maybe you want to start with just a single weight, flex through that heel and lift that inner thigh. If you feel you can do more, because we're not going to do a ton of these, feel free to put that second weight on there. And make sure you're just lifting your leg. You're not rolling back onto your hip, because then that involves other muscles. Two more. And relax. Okay, so we should have gotten outer and inner thigh on 2 different legs, and now we're going the other way. She's not looking, her paws are over her eyes. She doesn't want to see this drama. All right, so we stack up legs, knees, hips, weights on that top leg, and then we just hold them in place with the hand. Back of the neck is long, waistline is lifted, leg lift as a unit, ankle and knee at the same time. And then feet together, heels together, and that top leg pivots open with the weight against it. Good. And then knee down, heels up in the air, and we pivot open. Waistline still up. And then relax for just a moment. You're going to put that top leg behind you, but not so far back that you roll onto the hip. And then the weights go on that inner thigh of that bottom leg. And we straighten it out. And we lift. And relax. Ooh, all right, we are rolling over onto our abs for a moment. We're going to get a little bit of extension while we're here. So take one weight on each side of your body. Slide your hands underneath the weights, palms facing the ceiling, big toes touching or hip distance apart and reaching so your kneecaps are slightly lifted. Notice if those shoulders are dropped down. Let's lift them up and lift them up and lift them up. 2 more times, lift and lift and lift. Leave those arms lifted, head back to center, back the neck is long. Stretch those fingers long and lift your upper body up as you stretch and reach. And you're going to rotate your thumbs, or excuse me, your palms toward each other. Come down and relax. Deep breath in. Toenails stay on the ground. Exhale, belly button to the spine. Lift, stretch, reach, rotate, and down. Again, lift, stretch, reach, and rotate. Two more. And relax. All right, let's just take a moment, come back. You can rest, letting those hips sit back on your heels for a moment, arms in front or by your sides. Make little fists if you like to give some space behind those legs. And then let's come forward in a cow and roll back in a cat. And then do that same thing, but with your hands off to one side. Just getting some different angles here. And then we'll roll back through center and go the other way, same thing. All right, beautiful. Okay, so we've also done a lot for the back side of the body, so we're only going to do one more thing here in this stacked up position, but I want you to try to turn so that you can see yourself in your camera if you are able to do that. Because as we lift this leg, this hip wants to move. So we're going to try to focus on that. So weight behind your left leg and either hands really narrow so you can see your hips or really wide so you can see your hips. You decide. And then lock that in place as always by bringing the heel. So I'm turning for a second, heel close to your booty. And then as you lift that leg to the side, notice, try and get it up. But when you do that, that wants to happen. So I want you to do your best to stabilize. And you can, you can kind of, I don't want to say cheat, but augment this by moving your hands a little bit. And bring that down. All right, switching. Now that weight goes behind the right leg. And again, we're going to bring that heel nice and close. And on that first one, notice as you bring that leg up and out to the side, you shift into that left hip and do your best not to do that. relax. All right. We're going to give those legs a little bit of love. So we're going to sit down. We're going to put the right leg out in front of you nice and straight, but you're going to want to really pull those glutes out from under you so you're not tucked and rounded backwards. Lift that left leg up and bring it across the right one. But make sure you didn't roll off that hip. So I want you to take your weight and put it on that left hip and push it down. Then pull that left leg across. So you can see I'm kind of twisting a little bit that way so that I don't roll up, to remind myself to keep that left hip down. All right, take the weight off, bring that leg across. You can slide it up your thigh, but rather than having it way off to the side, I want you to bring it across so that maybe, you know, midway or 2/3 of the way down the calf is across your thigh. And then again, use your hand to press it open, or you can even use your weight to press that leg open. Did you round into your spine? I did. So I'm going to have to remind myself to sit up out of this, but when I do, my leg comes up. So that's okay. I have to make a decision, not one or the other, because putting my leg down causes me to round. That's not going to get the stretch. While we're here, might as well take your hands and give that foot a little bit of love. Give it some mobility, move it around, maybe massage that arch a little bit. And then we have two options. If you want more stretch, you have the option to grow tall through your spine and hinge forward without dropping and rounding. Or if you can bend your knee without rolling backwards, you could bend your knee a little bit. But you got to promise that you don't roll back onto your sit bones if you do that. So one or the other, or neither, if you've already got enough stretch. And then bring that down. And lastly, you're going to put the foot on the ground. And this time that hip might come up a little bit, but I want you to hug it. Instead of letting it drape over to the left, I want you to bring it to the midline of your body, and you should feel a nice stretch again. All right. And then feet together, arms up in a stick position. Exhale, hinge forward, hinge, hinge, hinge. And then eventually let those arms come down and land on your feet or wherever. Let your body drape over. And then hinge up, pull yourself forward without rounding, and sit up. And then we're going to take that right leg across. And again, we're going to put the weight in the hip flexor to push it down so we're not rolling off of it, right, as we pull across. And then I'm going to let it come across my thigh, but not way out here. I'm going to slide it across a little bit. And then, so you might be able to see, you can see on me for sure, I'm less flexible on this hip because that knee is so much higher, right? So again, I can use the weight here, but I have to notice, did I drop and dump into my hip flexors? Did I round my spine? I'm going to use that weight to help out. And again, you can always give yourself some little tootsie massage here. They don't get enough attention usually. Alrighty, and then again, if you want more, you can hinge forward. If you can do that without rounding, you can bend that knee. You can do that without sitting backwards. And then straighten that bottom leg. And lastly, we will go ahead, pull that knee in really close. That's already a big stretch. And then instead of letting it drop over, I'm going to pull it toward the opposite side of the body, or at least get it midway. And relax. All right, so yay! Lower body should feel better after we've messed around with it quite a bit. So we're going to lie down and we'll just give that back a quick break. Knees into your chest. And then one weight or two, your choice. One weight I'm going to start with. That was yours to speak. Deep breath in. Exhale, poke a hole in the ceiling, float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. And on the inhale, reach your arms by your ears. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, come down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, reach those arms up over your head. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you want more challenge, of course, you can add the second weight. Deep breath in. Exhale, poke that hole in the ceiling, reach those arms over your head, holding for 4, 2, and 1, bring it down. If it feels like a lot of tension on your neck, but you still want the challenge, here's an option. You lift it up with your arms, your head resting on those weights that are being held by your arms. You can be wide, you could be here, that's okay. And then extend and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let the head rest in the weights. Come back up when you're ready. Extend and hold. Don't forget to count to 4 before you roll back down again. If you have those weights behind your head, don't roll down with a lot of vigor, please, because I don't want you to smash your skull against those weights. But you guys are pretty smart. I don't think that would happen. Last one, exhale, lift it up, reach those arms and hold for 8 this time. And 6, feel free to support if you need to. And 2 and 1, and relax. All right. One of my favorite ones, you guys know, it's that last chance for some tricep work. We'll put both weights in the left hand, right hand on the left rib cage. Bring that left arm over your head. Let it rest on the ground for a second. And then exhale, put both ribs down and lift that arm just an inch above the ground. You're going to feel a big stretch on that tricep. You're going to feel a lot of work on this side. And then we bring that arm up overhead. So we're going to go up and over. Maybe don't tap the ground, but come really close before you come back up. Up and over, inhaling, ribs stay down, exhale back up. And keep that going for me. Then we're going to add the bend and the straighten and come up. So we get some tricep up and over, bend, straighten, and up. Pinky is towards the sky. And if you don't like this with 2 weights, you can certainly do it with 1. And then on this last one, bring the arm by the ear and we'll just straighten it, straighten it, straighten it. Ribs in. 4 more. And relax. We'll stretch those triceps in a minute. Let's bring those weights into that right hand. Left hand on the right ribs. Arm overhead until it rests on the ground. Deep breath in. On the exhale, pull your rib down and lift the arm just an inch above the ground. Feel that tension in the tricep, that work and the obliques, and then bring it up. So we inhale up and over and exhale back up. Try and keep your head in a nodded yes position. And then we'll bend, straighten, and come up and over, bend, straighten, and up. And then just up and over, straighten, straighten, straighten. And relax. Woo, arms out into a T position. Stack your knees up, tabletop, let them drop to one side. Lift the top leg, follow it by the bottom leg, let them drop the other way. Top leg, followed by the bottom. One more time each way. Up, up, and over. All right, now here comes the mean version. All right, take those legs, stack them up, and put one weight right below your knees in a fleshy area where you can hold that weight between your legs. arms out into a T. Keep the toes where you can see them, and you're going to go side to side, but you're not going to drop all the way over. Now, I realize you'll probably use the arms a little bit or a lot of it. That's not a terrible thing right now. Keep those toes lifted, keep those knees in tabletop. Keep going. And then come back through center. Ooh, move that weight on top of the shins for a moment and hug in. And then that weight is going right back where it was a moment ago, back to tabletop, ribs are flat, back of the neck is long, toe touch exercise. Now, this weight adds a lot. So if you'd rather, you don't need it. You could instead put it on your ribs to make sure your ribs are staying down during toe touch. You could put it down on your abs to make sure they're staying sunken in. Or you could do both. You could have one weight on your body and the other weight between your legs. And relax. Hug those knees in, take a quick little break, maybe draw circles on the ceiling for that low back again. And then no weights, just bring yourself up, seated position. Sit really nice and tall. We're going to do some rotation, but we're going to make sure that we don't have any rounding at all. So what I want you to do is just press against your legs to hinge back and double check. So I already see a little bit of C shape. So let's try to kind of make sure we don't have any C shape, even if that means I sit straight up, right? And then weights in each hand. Front arm is going to rotate. Back arm is going to lift to help me stay tall. We're not actually going to touch the ground, but you're going to rotate towards the ground. Now, if you feel as if you are rounded, then that would mean you're grinding. So let's take those weights away, right? Because then we'll be rotating with extra weight and again, pushing against those vertebrae and the lovely little cushiony discs between them. And bring that down. All right, weights on each side of you, please. We're going to roll down. We're going to hug those knees in. Take a little quick break here, side to side, and then left foot on the ground and take the left weight and put it behind your right leg. And we'll pull that in toward us, and then we'll use that dumbbell to pull it off to the right. And then we'll use both sides of the dumbbell to bring it back through center. We'll straighten out that left leg and flex through that heel. Pull that right knee in nice and close. Try and get the rib and the thigh very close together. And then roll that weight down toward the shin and see if you can pull your knee down. At the same time, you press the heel to the sky. And as always, feel free to get some mobility through that ankle. And then straighten that leg, point the toes, lift yourself up, slide the weight 1/4 inch higher, flex through the heel, and then bring it with you as you come down. Take that weight on the outside of that leg, slide the other hand under that weight, the right weight, and let that left leg drift a little bit over to the left with the toe turned down, the heel pressed up. weight on the outside so you get a big stretch through that hip. And then finally bend that knee and a nice twist here. And while you're over there, you can leave the weight there. Come on back through center, crisscross, figure four. We did this stretch seated, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but we'll go ahead and bring that left leg in, lift it up, point, flex, rotate. And then bend that knee, cross the right all the way over, hug that left knee in, start to feel that big stretch on the outside of the right. And then again, hands go underneath the weights and the knees will drop left. Straighten out your left leg, roll back through center, straighten out your right leg and see if it maybe feels a little better. Bend both knees, take the weight that was on the right side and bring it to behind your left knee and pull it over to the left. Right leg will drop, drape open. And then we'll bring it back through center as we straighten the right leg. Bring that left leg in, move the weight down toward the ankle, flex the heel. And again, maybe some mobility in that ankle. And then we point and lift. Roll the weight up just a little bit, flex through the heel as you come down. And then move that weight to behind or beside the leg. Left hand rolls under the other weight. Turn your toes down, flex, sickle through that foot, big stretch, and then eventually bend the knee and let it drop. Big twist. And then come on back through center. The weight can stay over to that side. Figure four, bend it, extend it, point and flex and rotate. And then we'll crisscross, big snug pull in, knees go a little to the right, and then hands slide into the weights, and we drop to the right, please. And then straighten the right leg. Left leg comes back through center. Reach your arms and your legs opposite directions. Make your way over onto your hands and knees, however you please. And we'll do our little cat-cow. She doesn't care. Mom can be annoying. High plank, press back, down dog, wide stance, meet me halfway for another cat and another cow. Thank y'all.